Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create a Power BI report using a financial data set. I won't be focusing on making the report look super polished or fancy, but rather I'll show you how to create the key visuals step by step. The goal here is to help you get the job done quickly and effectively. And the data set that I'll be using in this demonstration I have put together myself. So let's get started. As for the first step, um, I will be importing the data set into the Power BI interface. So I go up here and I click on get data, and I select Excel workbook because our data is in Excel format, and I hit connect. The file that we're going to be using is financial sample. So I select it, and I click open. Power BI will try to look at the file, and here we can see that the file has been located, and I click load, and then I can see that the table has been created in Power BI. So next, I will move towards preparing the data. So I would need to clean the data and just to make sure that it's ready for report usage. So up here, I'll go to transform data to open the Power Query editor, which is this, and then I will remove any unnecessary columns that I don't need for the purpose of this demonstration, and to make the report, the performance of the report a little bit lighter. So for example, this month name, I can select it, right click, and select remove. And then up here, it tells me if I have any empty or error rows in my columns, and I can see that they're all 0%, which is an indicator that the data is already clean. So I can just go ahead and click close and apply, and then the tables are updated here. Next, I will start creating the visuals. The first visual that I would like to start with would be creating a sales and profit trend chart. So I would click on the cluster column here, visual, and I will drag year. I will open my data set table. And of course, I will drag year to the x-axis, and I will drag sales to the y-axis, and also profit to the y-axis. So here we can see a clear demonstration of how much profit and sales we've had for the years 2013 and 2014. Next, I would like to showcase the segment performance. So I would click on the pie chart on the right side. Alright. And then this time I will drag the segment legend, the segment attribute into the legend section of the report. And then I will drag sales into values. And of course here we can see a demonstration of sales by different segments. Next, I would like to move forward into map profit by country, and this will basically allow us to see which countries were most profitable. So for that reason, I would go here and select this map visualization. Now this time, I will drag the country into location, and then I would drag profit to bubble size. And this basically, if I zoom out a little bit, this will basically show us all the countries that had the most sales if you just hover over it. So the countries would be Canada, United States, Mexico, Germany, and France. Next, I would like to identify the top products by sales. So for this, I would click on the bar chart. Just to make sure that this will fit. And then I would drag product into the y-axis. And then I would drag sales to the x-axis. Apologies, I chose the cluster column chart. Okay, this would be the right visual. So this basically shows us the top product that they sold really well. So here, these four visuals basically, just to recap, they would, they show us a illustration for some of sales and profit by year. And right here, they show us the segments by sales. So basically, which segment sold better, and profit by country, which countries made the most profit, made the most profit, and finally, sales by product, which products were sold better. Now, to give this report a better touch, I would add some slicers just to make it a little bit more intuitive and more interactive. So I would select the slicer visual here. I'll make it a little bit smaller. And I would create another one, so I can just select it, hit Control C and Control V, just to make sure that they're right stacked on top of each other. And for the first slicer, I would select it, and then I would drag year into the field. And then for the next slicer, I would drag segment into field. Okay, so just like that, we're basically able to filter this, all of these visuals by year or by segment. I can select 2014 and the visuals will change, or I can select these by special segments, make this a little bit bigger, enterprise, government, mid-market, or I can hold Control and select different segments, and it will show all the data accordingly. I can go ahead and, just to make these a little bit more intuitive, I can double click on, I can select the slicer and then double click on this field and then change the column name. I can, for example, change it to year sale. And then for segment, I can select the segment slicer and double click on segment and just add section to it to make it a little bit more intuitive. Alright, and then as for the next step, I will save my work. I have two ways of publishing it. I can either go ahead and click publish here, or I can go to File and select Publish here. And then publish to Power BI. Alright. And then I would select the workspace and I can simply push this report into my workspace and then make it available to my end users. Thank you for following along.